Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. I hope you're all doing wonderfully well. Ajax drop out of the Champions League last night. We all watched it. We all witnessed one of the greatest comebacks in football and sporting history by Tottenham. A player much talked about before, during, and after the game is Ligt. This 19-year-old is one of the most sought after properties in world football. He's dubbed the next great centre-back. Barcelona, Juve, Liverpool, Real Madrid, Man United, of course, and we'll jump into that in more detail, are circling around this individual who is still fresh, who is still a fledgling player, although he has been playing at senior level now for 2.5 years or so. At 19 years of age, nowhere near the completed article. The first piece of business to address and step into is that the Ajax CEO, Edwin van der Sar, has confirmed, and I'll read his actual quotes in a moment, that Ligt will leave Ajax this coming summer. And his words here say that I think these will be Ligt's final games with Ajax, of course talking about the Champions League and the remaining league fixtures. But I hope he goes out on a high. He's been here since he was a child and will end up at a big club, before denying he'd considered a move to Italy, and then adding, I think he'll go to England or Spain. So the leading favourites with the bookmakers are Barcelona, followed by Liverpool Football Club. And just to throw this out there before we jump into Man United's part in this transfer story, Ligt and Van Dijk next to each other at Liverpool, I have to be honest, is one of the most scariest, sobering thoughts any rival fan could have in any way, shape or form. It almost doesn't bear thinking about the quality that Liverpool would possess as a defensive unit with their great fullbacks, their goalkeeper, and Ligt. This deal will cost somewhere in the region of around £80 million, according to many outlets. Now, where the big twists and turns come in, and we'll jump into these in a moment, do me a massive honour before we do, though. Please hit that like button and hit that share button as well. The most important aspect of the conversation around Ligt is where's he going to fit in? How good will he become? There are better options than him right now in terms of, I would say Koulibaly is a better defender than he is right now, but you're talking about a 19-year-old. So I'd love your viewpoints and opinions on that. So you hit the like button, hit the share button. So where Man United have a say in this, and there is the potential for United to get involved, is in the fact that, firstly, Mino Raiola is dealing with the transfer negotiations. He is the representative of Ligt when it comes to speaking to, of course, sponsors and endorsement firms, but equally engineering this move, being the caveat between the player and the two respective clubs over the transfer of the individual and, of course, his player card. Mino Raiola is a shrewd man. I do get, it troubles me sometimes that players decide to go to him, because I feel that at the crux of it, Mino Raiola has money as his biggest driver. The players come second in that. And I was told just over a week ago, and I mentioned this on air a few times, and I was waiting for more information before sharing what I've been told with you. But it's simply this. Manchester United, Barcelona are the favourites. But Man United have been offered the option to sign Ligt by Mino Raiola. Raiola has told Woodward, supposedly in no uncertain terms, and this is the bit that troubles me, I will convince Ligt to sign for you, but there are conditions. And the conditions, of course, you've got to pay Ligt a large amount of money. There's a big fee coming my way. You're talking tens of millions, upwards of 9, 10, 11 million as a fee for the agent if we want Ligt. So firstly, we're getting back into bed with Mino Raiola. We know how talented Ligt is, but the behaviour, the actions, and actually the results of signing Mino Raiola's players so far at Man United hasn't really turned out particularly well, has it? Zlatan did well, but Pogba has been hit and miss with many fans. Mkhitaryan flop, Lukaku flop. And a comment there says, Mino Raiola is finessing United. Maybe. But part of this deal, it also involves Paul Pogba. And there is conditions that will be added to United getting Ligt. So, essentially, Raiola has said, forget Barca, forget Real Madrid, forget Liverpool, forget Tottenham that are also a front runner. My client will sign for Manchester United on a 5-year deal on big money. You're talking 150, 160,000 pound a week, and that will increase when Champions League football is secured. On top of that, he wants one of two options to be given to Paul Pogba by Man United. A new bumper contract in the region of £500,000 per week plus bonuses, with the option of being sold within 2 years if Manchester United, and this is the bit that troubles me most, if Manchester United are not just back in the Champions League, but fighting for major honours, they would have to give Pogba the ability to leave. The other option is you still get Ligt, but you allow me to go and negotiate with clubs that want Paul Pogba, and you allow us to be able to sell him this coming summer for the right money of over £100 million, but you do not stand in Paul Pogba and my way of engineering a move out of the football club. If you do that, you get Ligt. And I think, look, deals like this go on in football. I scratch my back, you scratch yours. What's good news, and what I've been told, is that Man United, the reason they haven't agreed to this as of yet, is Woodward is reconsidering the way that he's done business in the past. He wants to get out of bed with Mino Raiola. He doesn't want to be encumbered to him. He wants to fix the salary structure at the club for a starters. And if you suddenly give Paul Pogba £500,000 a week, if you then have other midfielders, whether it be McTominay, whether it be attacking players like Rashford, who are performing on par or just slightly behind Paul Pogba, they are then going to be demanding huge salaries as well. And that's one of the major problems with morale and sort of team togetherness and the culture being right at the club, is the payment structure has absolutely skewed that, and there is animosity between fellow professional footballers at the club. So although signing Ligt sounds amazing, although signing a player that most believe could go on to be at the sort of John Terry, Rio Ferdinand, Jaap Stam, Van Dijk level, the absolute tip-top individuals. Although signing him is an amazing prospect, it would definitely, over the next 10 years, fix Man United's defensive problems, all going well. You're talking about giving Paul Pogba £500,000 a week, still with an option to leave within 2 years if the club doesn't achieve their standards, which means suddenly the club has got to perform to match player standards rather than the other way around, or we let him go this year. The option, if we we're going to take one of the options, I would sell Paul Pogba. And what I mean by that is that there's too many conditions, too much money to keep him. I would say, okay, if I would say to Raiola, look, if you can get us 120 million for Pogba, we'll accept it, but we want to guarantee that we get Ligt, and we actually want Ligt to be here. They can then use that money from Pogba to reinvest in different parts of the pitch. That's if they're going to take this deal, it's the only one that makes sense. But for me, I believe he's going to go to Barcelona or Liverpool. Man United have been given, if you like, first refusal on this player. But with the club trying to restructure its transfer and its scouting and its internal processes to signing players, equally wanting to move away from dealings and giving out hemorrhaging money to such agents as Mino Raiola, and fixing that wage structure, I don't see how, with Mino Raiola in control of this deal, essentially, how it is going to be plausible and possible for Man United to keep him. It's as simple as that. I'm going to jump into some of your live comments because I want to know what you think about this deal. Look, Man United, rivals, give us your opinion. But Manchester United fans, do you want Ligt at Man United? What would you be willing to sacrifice for it? The offers that Mino Raiola has made surrounding Paul Pogba's involvement, what's your take on that? If these things are indeed true, would you want Manchester United to behave in that way? Does that fit in with the principles you want this football club to follow? I'd love your viewpoints on that. I'm going to jump into some of the live comments now here. Let's read what is it? Someone here says, Terry, Mino Raiola got banned, suspended from doing transfer business early this week, supposedly till the end of August. Yeah, he has, but he'll just nominate it to a friend who's an agent then. He'll just get a different... Because what there is, you have agents, so I can be a football agent and have players assigned to me, but I can also go to other football agents, other solicitors with FIFA licensing, and say, can you broker the deal? And we'll get £10 million fee. I'll pay you a percentage of it. He'll still get the deals done, even though he's personally banned from sitting in the right rooms. But nothing's going to stop him going to a restaurant for dinner. Oh, and look, the president of a football club's also turned up for dinner in the same place as me, because that isn't illegal. So it's, yeah, those kind of bans mean absolutely nothing. It's like it's against the laws of football to tap players up. But it happens every single day because you do it through an intermediary. It's so simplistic. Captain Obvious says, sign him, get Pogba out the club, killing two birds with one stone. Happy days. This is what Alex says. It was absolute nonsense. De Ligt's agent said a couple of weeks ago that United are not the club they used to be, and that De Ligt will be joining one of the best teams in the world. That's great. I'm happy for whoever that agent is to say that. Mino Raiola is brokering this deal. They have gone. The representatives of and people that look after De Ligt and the player have personally gone out of their way to go to Mino Raiola, who is renowned for this kind of business. So I get your point. I get what people say publicly. But there we go. It's there. I personally don't think it's going to happen, by the way. I think for me, there is if we're going to take one of the options, I go with option 2. But I would actually prefer us to say no, actually. We're not going to be held over a barrel by agents anymore. We only want players that truly want to be here. That would be my number one preference, no matter how good De Ligt is. You know, we're going to miss out on maybe some players like him over the next 4 or 5 years while we're rebuilding. You have to just take that on the chin. Simple as that. Simple as that. There's a few super chats actually I've got to go through here. I'm going to go back and find these. This is from TD. He says, I agree with the Liverpool caller the other day when he said that De Ligt would go to Liverpool because they have Van Dijk. But in saying that, I would love to see players like De Ligt join and De Jong join Arsenal. I get your point there, and I think there is an element of truth that he may join Liverpool. I also said just the other day that whether Liverpool win any trophies, 2 trophies, no trophies, whatever it may be this year, they are going to spend big again this summer. They are going to spend north of £150 million again. And if you sign De Ligt, you've already got £80 million going out. They might only sign 2, maybe 3 players. They'll buy a Nabil Fekir type player, 50, 60 million. They'll go after a De Ligt type player, 60, 70, 80 million. You're talking a lot of money will be spent by Liverpool again. And fair play to them. You know, Champions League finalists 2 years running. They'll have more and more sponsorships and more endorsements coming in off the back of that. Why not spend the money continuing to improve your football club? Makes sense. Time Bandit says Van der Beek would be good for us. He would be. Shana says De Ligt won't go to Manchester here in Holland. We heard nothing about it, and De Ligt is good for United at the moment, but he won't go to England. No way, Arsenal. Well, Van der Sar has said he's either going to go Spain or England. So Van der Sar, the CEO of the club, has said that I'm going to trust his words. He's a very open, honest, transparent, and authentic man. Let's see what we're saying here. Prince says it's a great move to Man United, but if only it possible for United to pay amount. Sorry, Prince, I kind of get what you're saying there. Your sentence isn't constructed too well, but look, United can afford to buy him. My issue isn't even the money. First issue is the agent situation, being held over a barrel. But the most important thing that Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, Barca fans must want is for their club to sign players who truly want to be there. That has to be your first point of call before the money, before the ethics of the deals. Let's do a few more of your live comments here. Adam says, De Ligt, please go to Liverpool. Yeah, I bet you wish he goes to Liverpool. Let's do a few more here. Will here says, ha ha ha, it's amazing United fans think they can attract players like De Ligt. Your club is in turmoil. For a young player to move, it would be suicidal. Yeah, look, Will, I don't think there's very many Man United fans that claim that De Ligt wants to go to the club. That's not what's being said here at all. In fact, Man United fans like me are saying that if he doesn't truly want to come here, I wouldn't want him to sign. But I think that's been the biggest problem over the last 6 or 7 years. There have been too many individuals that have come for the paycheck, for the agent, and when you have a mercenary type signing, or, okay, I'll sign for you because my agent really wants me to, and he's building up a good relationship with your CEO. As soon as the going gets tough, or you hit a bit of poor form, or you get a bit homesick, or you go through a bit of a problem in your personal life in a country or a club or a city you don't want to be in, it spells trouble. And I think that, look, people can throw banter all they want. United know how far behind they are. There is no denying that. And we've celebrated every year since Fergie's gone when a big name, a Di Maria, a Falcao, a Pogba, Zlatan, when we've signed them and we've inked it, we've all been buzzing, oh, this is going to be amazing. But none of them have really worked out. So we need to look at things from a different point of view and from a different angle. We truly, truly do. Baz here says, if Ligt goes to Liverpool, it would ruin him for me. I like the player, I really do, but he won't be good as a scouser. Fair point. Someone here says, a qualified agent's name must be on the paperwork. Yes, I understand. I understand a qualified agent's name must be on the paperwork. But if I'm an agent and I'm banned for 3 months, I'll still have my contract with my clients, but what I can do is I can subcontract a deal out to a solicitor with FIFA licensing who can pose as an agent. Absolute fact, that can be done. A friend of mine, Mr. Bartholomew Hart, is a FIFA registered solicitor as an example. Or I can go to another agent and they can be an intermediary. And then my business that I own and the intermediary will work out a deal between us in terms of fees. It's not going to slow. Like, all of the clients who are looking at new contracts and looking at transfers this summer for me and Areola, they're not all going to suddenly stay at their clubs. I mean, to believe it would be that lineal, that black and white, is ridiculous. Absolutely is. Let's do a few more comments here. Terry, would you take Gareth Bale? No. I've said for 2 years now I don't want Gareth Bale, purely on the basis the man's too injury prone. If you sign someone like him on the salary that he would command, I want a man who plays 85, 90% of the games that we need him for. He doesn't do that. He's always injured. There's always a risk of an injury. And you know what would happen? We'd put him on 400 grand a week, he'd come in, we'd get excited, and he'd pull his hamstring and be out for 3 or 4 months. There is absolutely no point in signing him, in my opinion. Do I see this happening? The Ligt. Because I don't trust Woodward, I see him trying to orchestrate something like this. It's what he's done in the past. Where's it come from? It's come from people that I know that work very closely with the football club, who get involved with the transfers. And they told me more they know what I do. And I said, look, I'm after some information. And they've told me more from a fan's perspective because they're worried about it as well. Their advice to the right people has been not to do it. It's not what that type of... It might look good on paper when it comes, we've signed this guy. But for what cost? And I'm not talking about monetary, I'm talking about your soul here. I'm talking about your ethics and your morality and fixing the problems we've had at the club for 6 or 7 years. This would go completely and utterly against that, in my view. Although it would be an amazing player. But there we go. Listen, thank you all very, very much for tuning in as ever. We'll be back. We'll, of course, doing goal review tonight after the Arsenal and Chelsea games. I am hoping for some more dramatics, to be fair, because what a week we have had. Not just the Champions League, the Vinny Kompany's goal on Monday. So I'm hoping tonight for a bit more. And you've got to think as well, with the Premier League ending Sunday, there's going to be more twists and turns. What a week of football we've had. It's amazing.